Hey, Chris Murphy here. I want to do a video today to talk about compassion. And it's something I learned a lot recently about what particularly was blocking me, blocking certain energy in me, was that lack of compassion in certain areas. I always thought, though, a lot of you might think, good people, that you're a compassionate person. And just by putting that word on it, good, says to you that you're labeling things as good and bad. You're putting judgment on things. So if you see people in your life who through over the course of your life haven't been great to you, maybe you've taken advantage of, your ex-partner treated you badly, people bullied you, people made you miserable, and you've got to learn to get past that and to really see those people as not good or bad. You're just seeing that's how people are, looking to see even the good in them, looking to maybe apologize to them, apologize part of yourself, see the lesson that you've learned. So if you could even say right now, look, there's this person I would come into contact with and I won't forgive them, I'll never forgive them, that says straight away that you're not happy with this person. And you're holding a lot back in. There's a lot of anger still in there. You've not perhaps learned a lesson. A lot of these thoughts that might be going around in your head, you haven't learned that lesson. So it is important to understand that lesson and look to get past that. Why should we have this compassion? Well, if you really want to get to that point where you're completely free, you see the positive in everything, you want to get to this joyful happiness, freedom all the time, well, you have to be able to see everything. If you want it 24/7, this is part of it. This is part of the level you're going to need to get to. And that way, you don't have any energy to give away. Remember, just see yourself as being someone who's got so much energy and you're giving your energy away. So every time you have a negative thought about someone maybe treated you unfairly, you give power to that person. And that's how the world works. That's how the universe works, in a way that person is, perhaps they're miserable, but they're getting energy from people just because they know they're spreading around and they're in a low state, whereas you want to get to a higher state and to rise above it, to go to that state beyond. Is imagine if nothing can touch you. And what you do if you forgive this person, if you don't let this person get to you anymore, well, you are completely free of it. They come up to you, they can't do anything, they can't dominate you, they can't manipulate you, they can't take advantage of you. So if you were to look at your whole life, just think, if you ran into that person in particular, how would you feel? How would that make you feel? If there's some real bitterness, if there's something you've not necessarily got over, you need to address that. You need to look for the good in that. Because the various moments over your life, if they're, feel like Ray Mirza, if you feel like the various moments in your life where perhaps you really got angry with someone, or something really upset you, someone you didn't like, someone who treated you unfairly, and this is something that stopped happening to me in a way, in terms of someone taking advantage of me. I could say probably the last big time it happened was probably about a year ago. What I noticed is in a way, over maybe a longer time, maybe like a few months, I eventually got to the point where I forgive that person. That was because I really seen the lesson in me, and I was thankful that I learned that lesson, that I grown. Is you can't hold a grudge against that person, particularly personally, because you would always have learned that lesson. If it was something really important, something insecure about yourself, that lesson has happened. And if you look throughout your life, there are probably loads of people, maybe ex-partners or people who treated you unfairly, and you said at the end of the day was, that person did me an amazing service. They really helped me figure out a lot more about myself, and that's part of it. If you keep getting out there, keep pushing yourself, you're always going to learn more and more lessons. Remember, this is giving you freedom, and if you can't think why people are people like this, why people like that, well, people are people, and that's just how everything is. There's a balance of, maybe if you judge people, good people, and there's bad people. People who are bad in your eyes might learn their lessons and then become good. Maybe when you knew someone who's a really good friend of you, maybe when they were earlier in life, they weren't a good person. So you want to give compassion to people. You want to look at the world through their eyes, not through your eyes. So when someone is very serious, they're not, taking things very seriously, they're not in a good mood, you have to look and you have to say, okay, why is this person being like that? And you have to sympathize with that person, because that's how they've been brought up in the world, and they can't do anything about it. There's no necessarily evil people. It's just how people were brought up. Maybe it's to do with their parents, their upbringing when they were younger, something traumatic happened to them, they lost someone close to them, so they see the world as being that kind of place. And if it makes you angry and you've got a lot of anger, look to let go of the anger you're forcing onto that person. That can be good as an expression at that moment in time, but over time you want to look through their eyes and project that anger back onto you. I found this a very useful exercise, and I'm looking through my life. There's people I work with, people I didn't get along with, and there was still anger there. There was still hatred in a way, because of how that person was to me. But I let go of that anger from their eyes, looking at it from their point of view, and that eventually led to me, forgiving that person. I would see that person now, and it's like I would welcome them with open arms. And then, like you said, they've got no power whatsoever. They've got no power over you. And then you're nothing but positivity flowing. Nothing but positivity flowing through your body. It's not like, oh, I hope I don't walk into this person, or every time I walk into this person, your energy drops and you give that energy away to people. And being compassionate is just a great place to be, because you become someone really special. You become someone who everyone gets along with, and that's what we want. We want people who can relate to us unconditionally. If we straight away judge someone and go like, oh, how can you be like this? How can you think like that? It's just the people we get on best with, the people we like the most, are people who are just people who allow us to be who we are and where we are at that moment in time. And that's sorry, missing the rocks here. So as an exercise takeaway, the importance of compassion, as I've mentioned numerous points. Just look at those people throughout your life who you still hold a grudge against, who've treated you unfairly, and look to really look to forgive them. So the importance of writing letters, writing things down. Look to just write that note, and you can do it in different ways. You can, if you do feel you've got so much anger, then yeah, you can let it out and say, look, this is how I feel about this person, this is how they treated me. And then look to apologize, look to say the lesson you learned. Because if the person you are now is to go back, say 5-10 years ago, you might be a different person, and you might have got on with that person now. If you've not let go, if you've not learned the lesson, that's not there. So yeah, writing down a letter can be important, and just writing things down, letting it go. Remember, it's about letting go and compassion. Whenever someone does something that annoys you, just step back, become aware of it, and look at the world through their eyes and sympathize with them. Remember, you should know who you are. You should be able to not need anyone else's approval, and that's the best way to be. That's true freedom. That's not holding anything back. So also to observe that we're out in nature, and there's always a lot to learn. It takes a lot down to learn about ourselves. And if you think more to the heart, to being compassionate, it relates more to air, so element of air. So if you look at the trees, the flowers, obviously all the green, the plants, bringing out oxygen, and you can't help but be here and feel great. And looking at the water as well, the water just flows. It doesn't hold a judge about anyone. It may hit a rock, but it just keeps flowing. So hello as humans with the mind, we judge something, we don't like something, we're putting things as good and bad, and that's society, and that's how we've been conditioned. It's not how a kid is, it's not how we are, it's how we can be. So we want to be free of that, and understanding that is great. Coming out of nature is great. Also, just by putting your feet in the water, like really being in touch more with a water element, which really gets more in touch with our emotions, or more that feeling, where we can really relate to people. So I will love you and leave you.